Our firm represents a lot of people who've been charged with small scale and large scale fraud. Now, there's fraud under $5,000 and there's fraud over $5,000 under the criminal code. And by the way, the maximum penalty for if the Crown elects by indictment for fraud over $5,000 is a whopping 14 years in prison. So it's a very serious crime. Now, the classic definition of fraud is to deprive by deceitful or dishonest means. So to deprive someone of something through deceit or dishonesty. It could be money, for example. It could be a good they own. Now, a lot of frauds, frankly, over the years that we've represented and happen across the province are employee frauds. The classic, I suppose, is the bookkeeper or the one who has their financial hands on the financial wherewithal of the company, so they have an opportunity to commit frauds. We've won a lot of those cases. They're not necessarily easy to prove. There's often a complicated paper trail. You have witnesses to certain things and maybe circumstances, maybe exclusive opportunity. It's hard to prove and bring it all together. The trials can be very complicated. I've seen trials go on for weeks. Some matters are lesser complicated than others. On the other hand, and we've won those cases, on the other hand, someone's caught very red-handed. The paper trail is very clear. It's the bookkeeper or someone else within the firm. Now, what's going to happen to that person? Well, this is an employee breach of trust, essentially, and the Ontario Court of Appeal has basically said that's a very serious crime. The typical penalties for that are a lot of jail time, unfortunately, for people who have been caught in that crime. Some would say, fortunately, by the way. So can we avoid a jail term for employee breach fraud? It really depends. It has to be a smaller scale fraud, perhaps, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have avoided jail on lesser cases, especially under $5,000, sometimes over too, depending on the factual background. If the person's able to pay restitution, that goes a long way to it. By the way, if they can't, there's going to be a restitution order at the end. But the rule of thumb is you start with a jail term. Can you convince the judge that there should be no jail term? Is an employee going to get a conditional discharge ever on a breach of fraud, trust? I've seen it. We've even done it at our firm, but I'm hesitant to say that's possible. It's a very narrow circumstance, as it was the case that we did. There's all types of frauds, and they range from more minor, dollar amounts to serious. You could be facing multi-years in jail or no time, or even a conditional discharge for a small-scale fraud. So it's all over the map. It's a very serious crime. We're very experienced at dealing with it. There's a lot of minutia to running the trial. You have to have an eye for detail. You have to have an eye. What is the Crown missing? The Crown's trying to put a puzzle together. You're trying to take out one piece. They can't connect the dots, and guess what? You win. So you need to have a financial background with it. You often need to have expert witnesses and accountants to assist as well in these type of cases, and they're very serious crimes in Ontario. And we do a lot of it, and this is what we do for a living. We're specialists at it. Thank you for watching our video. We are absolutely committed to bringing you the best possible criminal and DUI educational videos. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've been charged with a criminal offense in Ontario and require our services, please click on the link in the description below.